You're dialed in to the Dealer Playbook podcast, where it's all about winning auto dealer strategies that deliver proven results. And now your hosts, Robert Weissman and Michael Cirillo.
All right, and here we are, everybody. This is the Dealer Playbook. I, again, am your host, Robert Weissman. My partner in crime, Michael Cirillo, who could not make it here today. And if you have been tuning in and checked out our previous episodes, which are available on iTunes, by the way, you have known that we have kind of been leading up to this point in your operation to not just about attracting premium customers, but more so dynamic sales professionals. Those professionals that are going to be handling the clients, the customers that you are spending the majority of your marketing budget, all of your marketing budget basically is dedicated to bringing people into your facility, getting them to call in, what have you. Well, these people that you're recruiting, you're bringing in and training, etc., to handle them, they need to be on point. They need to be razor sharp. So how they feel daily and the motivation that they have to come to work every day is, to me, I think one of the most important, aspects of them working there. So, like I said in the intro, I am joined by the best of the best, not only as creating a wow experience for the customers, that's one end of it, but the reason why the customers are so wowed is because of the experience that the employees have here, have in his facility. So I have the founder of the Unfair Automotive Mastermind Group and friend, mentor, Tracy Myers. Tracy, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, great to be here, and I thank you so much for having me as a guest today.
Oh, man, listen, I thank you so much for cutting out the time, man. You're the busiest man in the business. This guy has more businesses than, I can't even give you an analogy, man. This guy gets it on, man. Plus, he's got a wrestling promotion out there he never talks about because he's so humble, man. But we'll go on for that for hours. So, listen, Tracy, I'm going to jump right to this because your time's valuable, and so is everybody that's letting us come into their earbuds here today. So, listen. Right before we jumped into this, we were talking about how you had we saw it on Facebook, and anybody, if you don't know who Tracy is, then you don't know. So we're talking about how he posted on Facebook. He had one of his key team members who was moving on to bigger and better things. They had a big party for her and stuff like that. It was wild. They're shoving cakes in people's faces. I mean, to get a cake in your face, that has to be from friends and family. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to take a cake in the face from anybody. So to the dealers, to anybody listening, like, first off, Tracy, how important is it that, is step one the experience for the customers? Is that most important, or is the most important part of your business your team and the the way your team feels and feels about the team and your operation?
Yeah, so actually it's a really good question, and the answer is really simple, but so many people, especially in automotive, they just don't get it. Because if your team's not feeling good about themselves, if your team's not feeling motivated, if your team's not happy, if your team's not having the experience and the time of their life while they're here or at your dealership, then you can create the best wow experience in the world for the customers, but it's a facade. The customers are smart in today's marketplace, and they can see right through that facade. You can have game rooms and big screen TVs and giving away Xboxes, and if you can see your team member's eyes. That's the mirror to their soul, and you can see the emptiness in so many team members' eyes as I walk into dealerships across the country and I consult with dealers. And I can get so much of a story the first 30 seconds just walking into the showroom. Nobody speaks to me. Everybody's heads down. You might get hey, is my helping you? The typical stuff you get at a dealership, but it's that important to me that the team has the energy and the excitement level and the experience first. And I really don't have to invest a lot in the customer experience, even though I have, but I wouldn't have to, because I really feel that the team members are so pumped and they're so motivated and they're so excited to be here at the dealership that will automatically transcend over to the customers, which will automatically take their experience level, man, through the roof.
So you're saying that instead of allocating so much of your dollars, your budget, whether it be marketing budget, whatever, we have, running a business, you only have X amount of dollars that you can invest back into it other than paying your people, etc. So you're saying that it would be a better move and a better strategy to invest it into the experience and the happiness of your people on the front line than it would be to attract, thousands more people to call in and come to your showroom.
Absolutely. And I'll one up that. I say, and I've proven it not only at this store, but at other stores that I've consulted and worked with across the country, that you could actually pay your team members less, not that you want to, but you could pay them less if you created a better experience for them.
I mean, okay, all right. So if you can, without, I'm not asking you to come on here and give up all your secrets. A magician will never do that. But tell me, let's give everybody an example of what you mean by that. By what can you do to pay that? Not saying pay them less, but forget about paying them less. Let's just say what can you do to enhance your team members' experience?
Well, the first thing that you really need to do as a dealer principal, general manager, general sales manager, internet manager, anyone that's leading the team, you've got to get to know your team, because if you don't know your team, it's just like fact finding when you're with the customer. You got to find out what their likes are, what their dislikes are, and get to know them one-on-one. One of the first things I learned when I started selling cars forever ago, and I didn't have kids, and guy told me, he said, hey, look in their car. If you see a car seat or you see a sign of a kid, start talking about their kid, and they will love you forever. Ask to see pictures of their kids, and they'll love you forever. And I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. But Robert, you're a great salesperson, and that probably rings true with you as well, man. You talk about somebody's kids, and you being a dad, it just like kabam. Somebody talks about your kids, and you automatically are drawn to them. Well, your team members are exactly the same way. The sad part is I can walk into dealerships, and you can too. Anyone can go into a dealership where you don't know the people, and ask the team leader what the salesperson's what their team member's middle name is. Ask how many kids they have. Ask what grades they're in. Ask what their favorite songs are. Ask what car their wife or their husband drives. You'll be blown away with the non-answers you get and the blank stares, because they don't know who their people are. Good case in point, and give you specific examples here. We create our own music playlist here in the showroom. And anyone that's seen our videos or watched our documentary Carmen, we say we pump the music really loud in the showroom, and it's all energy filled, fast paced, high beats per minute type music, because we want the energy level high in the showroom. Well, one of the first things we do is we ask the team members when they come on board, what are your favorite songs? What songs do you like? And we put those songs that are family friendly, of course, on the playlist, because that automatically connects with them, and we let them know that, hey, we put those songs on the playlist for you. So automatically, I know it seems like it's something real simple and minute, and hey, what's the big deal about that? But it does a couple things. The biggest, though, is it shows as a team leader that you care about them and what they think. And I think that is so important in all industries from day one, and we're not doing that. My training, when I got in the auto industry, they stuck me in a closet with some VHS tapes, 5 days worth of product knowledge. I came out and they say, congratulations. The word certified wasn't a buzzword then, but they said, hey, congratulations. You're the equivalent of certified. You're a Buick Auto Pro. There's your desk. There's the keys. There's the bathroom. You work from here to here. There's the time clock. Good luck. That was the training I got. I didn't know where to go for help. I didn't know nothing. Other than I could talk to people. So it was just like it is in most places now. It was sink or swim mentality, right?
Yeah, that sounds exactly like how most people were trained, how I was trained, just manage the VHS, just minus rather the VHS.
Right.
Online and did exactly.
Yeah. So, and forget the product training, which or the training in general, that is important. But I say that you could bypass most of the sales training if you're relating to your people, and you're getting to know them, and you know who they are, and you make them feel like they're important to the organization, and they've got people skills. Now, one thing that, and Craig may have shared this with you, I know you said you talked to Craig Locker maybe the last show or the show before, and Craig's brilliant with this type thing. But I can train almost anybody to do anything, but it's tough to teach people skills.
Yeah, like from an introvert to an extrovert. Right. I mean, basically, exactly.
Exactly. And that's something that I can't do. It's just not in my wheelhouse, and don't know many people that can. And it's a long, drawn out project. So if I've got an extrovert though, or someone who can talk to people and listen to people, it's real easy for me to care about them and to get them involved in our culture from day one. That is so important. You know, we tend to work backwards in the automotive industry. 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, the managers are in the meeting and the conversation is generally like, oh man, Johnny, man, his numbers really stink. What seems to be the problem? Well, I don't think he's talking to enough people. Well, why don't we work with him, send him to a training school? Well, there's one coming up in 6 weeks if he makes it that long. Well, I don't want to spend the money because I don't know if he's going to be here. Why don't you pull up Dave Anderson, because it's free and it's online and he can read all that stuff from Dave, or go to YouTube and watch some Cardone videos and, for 3 or 4 hours, man, and we'll know by Friday if he's good or not. Well, number one, all that stuff is okay, but at least do it from day one. It's not the right way, but at least do it from day one. They're doing it 4 and 5 and 6 weeks in. They don't feel like you care about them. They don't understand the culture, and they sure don't care about you as a person. What makes you think that the opposite's ever going to happen? They're not going to care about your customers either.
Yep. Or the mission, or like
anything.
Yeah.
It's a paycheck to them. And when it becomes just about the paycheck, I'm telling you, nobody wins. Now, we all know that that's why we go to work. We got to get the paycheck. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what pays the bills. That's what takes care of the family. However, when it's just about the paycheck and only the paycheck, then everybody loses. The customer loses, the team member loses, the management team loses, the dealer principal loses. And it's a vicious cycle that we've got to get out of in this industry if we're going to step out of the Stone Ages and into the new marketplace, which is where we're at. We can learn all the technology in the world. And we can hire Grant Cardone to be in our store, and Tracy Myers and Robert Wiseman, and they're going to contract us for eight hours a day, all of us. We're just going to rotate departments, and it's useless. It's useless if we don't care about our people and really develop that culture within the store.
So that kind of answers what I was going to go into next. That no matter what training or how often you train them, or what responses to objections and what material or how prepared you get them, if they're not on board with your dealership's message, the culture, and they're motivated to be there, the best training in the world means nothing, correct? It's obsolete. It's a waste of money, so to speak, right?
I'm not going to say it's a total waste of money, but it's not going to help grow your organization. I mean, some training, or even the best training, is better than none, but they've got to buy into the store. They've got to buy into the mission. They've got to buy into the culture. And I don't really like the term "drink the Kool-Aid," but I can't think of a better term right now. They've really got to drink that Kool-Aid and believe it. As a matter of fact, our Everybody Rides program, we have a mission about the Everybody Rides program, what it's about, who is there to help from A to Z. And that's one of the things that is part of our culture. If they don't believe that and almost get angry when somebody doubts it, then I haven't done my job, because it starts from the top down.
Makes sense. And real quick, I'm going to go off the script here with that. So when you say that Everybody Rides, so is the guy that's first name is Frank, I know his name, but I'm not going to name drop anybody that's not, agreeing to be here. Last name begins with a G. No matter what you post on Facebook for quote the photo of the day, this guy does Everybody Rides every time, day in and day out. Is he on board? Is he on your team, or is he just a mark, a super fan, or what is it?
He's a mark and a super fan, all the above. And 2 years, I thought he worked here and he had created a fake profile. True story. I thought he created somebody that worked here that created a fake profile, because it would be seconds. I can post something and seconds later, this guy is popping up and Everybody Rides, and it doesn't matter where it's at. My personal profiles, my business profiles, my dealership profile. And finally, I kind of sent a private message over and said, "Hey, dude, you kind of creeping me out a little bit. I'd like to know who you are." This guy lives in South Carolina and has never bought a car here, and he's not even in the automotive industry.
What?
No, he's just he believes in our culture, or he thinks our culture is pretty cool from what he's seen online. He really doesn't know it because he doesn't work here. But you're right. That's the type thing that you really need to try to create and develop.
Yeah. I mean, you have raving fans.
Super fans, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you always get all of your, your shine, a lot of your hype. A lot of people are, what you're known for is, I mean, the marketing that you do. I mean, you're always outside the box. I mean, you're probably the best in the business with, just building the brand of the Frank Myers and everything that you guys do there. And that seems to get all the attention. But really, so you're saying like, would you, if you didn't have the confidence in your team that you do now today, you spend everything that you do, I know, is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. The operations, even within the store, from at the unfair automotive advantage mastermind group, you talk a lot about the experience and what you do in store. So all of that, if your team is not like, you're 100% confident in your team. You said before we came on here that if you fail as a leader, if you don't believe in your people, and if your people aren't the best, so you feel that all the is it a waste? Would it be a waste of dollars, or would you put in the dollars, the effort, the time away from your family, doing all the the commercials and everything that you're doing to bring people into the store? How would that shift if you feel the team wasn't up to par, or if you didn't believe in them like you do?
Well, look, and that's another great question, but it really happens a step at a time, and people's looking at our operation for the first time, outside looking in, they see, oh my God, look at all the working parts. I can't do that because I'm not Tracy, I'm not Frank Myers Auto, and I can understand that. But the reality of it is that we didn't used to have all those working parts either. You've got to build the foundation and then add the layers on top of it.
Which layer did you go? Where did you start first? Did you do, like, if you could go back, did you do it the way that you would now?
Absolutely not. And that's exactly where I was going. So we'll just go in that direction now. I actually started with the smoke and mirrors first. I started with the bells and the whistles and all the cool stuff for the customers. And I realized that none of it was really sticking with the customers. I mean, it was cool for a few seconds, but it wore off really quick because I hadn't developed the culture with the team. I hadn't invested in the team. I didn't have the experience with the team. So I flipped it. 8 to 10 years ago, I started investing in the culture of the team, and I saw immediate results within 90 days, 3, 4, 5 months. I saw immediate results. I saw turnover go down. I saw enthusiasm go through the roof. I saw customers smiling more, because here's what happened. Instead of just like, we've got a photo booth anybody can use the photo booth. And of course, we give them the hats that we use as kind of our signature to take the photos, and the photos are free. And you can post them. They can post them to Facebook, and it's a cool little tool. However, just think about this: if there were a sign on the photo booth that said, "Go to the front desk and get a token," right?
Yeah,
that wouldn't hold the same value as if Chris says, "Hey, little fella, come on over here. You had your picture made yet? Now come with me. We're going to get a token. Put this hat on, man. We're going to get in here together. We're going to get a picture made. Watch this. Now make goofy faces. You got 4 pictures ready. 1, 2, 3. Bam, 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 bam. Now you're going to get 2 copies. Going to give 1 to mom. 1's for the refrigerator. Use 1 for a bookmark. Any way you want to do it. Now let's send this sucker to Facebook. Where's your mom and dad at? Oh, really? Yeah, well, let's log in and get mom and dad over here. See, so now that the team member, they've drunk the Kool-Aid. They've got the buy-in of the excitement in the process. They've got the customer involved, and it's a totally different dynamic than just having a sign, "Hey, get your picture made, get your token at the front desk."
Yeah,
and that's one minute small example, but everything in the store is like that now, from the red carpet celebration at the end where everybody stops what they're doing and said, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, stand up, put your hands together. Welcome Mr. and Miss Johnson to the Frank Myers family with the purchase of a 2013 Ford Fusion. Yay!"
Yep.
And
everybody's stopping and looking.
Everybody stops.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back. Even if they're in the middle of a credit application or whatever, numbers. They say, "Hey, excuse me 1 minute." They stand up. And of course, what's that guest say when they sit back down? What just happened?
Yeah. They're
Mr. and Mrs. Johnson just took delivery of their nicer, newer car. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't have to do that, do I? Of course, they really want to do it. But
Oh yeah, everybody wants to do it, man. Makes me want to do it.
Yeah.
So from the top down, so there's not somebody floating around on the showroom like a floor manager or somebody that's responsible for making all that happen. I mean, everybody from the top down, like from the frontline guy, from the newest guy. I know you said that, you have lanyards for the team. They have their own cartoon character, like their own caricature or whatever of themselves on there, and then they get pins like the football player gets like the stars on their helmet for like how long they've been there and accomplishments and whatnot. So no matter if you're like a 4-star showroom general or you're like what'd you call it, the green pea or whatever, I mean that's everybody's getting. I mean everybody knows how to handle like that type of wow. Is what you're
Everybody
saying.
can do it. As a matter of fact, I walked into the showroom yesterday. All the salespeople are elbow to elbow with customers. There's about a 45 to 50-minute wait for a salesperson, which is, in our store, we consider that part of our culture because because our big and I can even recite, hey, because our big selling promotion, all our salespeople are with guests, at least one guest right now. Most of them are with at least 2 guests right now, but we'll be helping you out. The wait right now is 40 to 45 minutes. But the good news is you'll be able to take advantage of the same great deals they're getting when they're available. So have a seat in our lounge and what's your name? And they write it on the little thing and they take a number like at a sandwich shop.
Mm-hmm. And part of the reason why they're waiting is because you only have X amount. You do a lot of marketing. You create the experience. Everybody wants to come in there, but you don't just hire or recruit anybody to take care of your clients. So, I mean, you'd rather them wait a little bit to deal with people that that are trained, highly, trained and professional to take care and handle the guests that you spend X amount of dollars to get in there.
Well, sure. And that's part of it. I mean, it's the empty restaurant theory that nobody wants to really eat it at an empty restaurant, right? They want to eat at the busy, full restaurant because they must be the best. So I've always looked at it like, but even if I'm not necessarily short-staffed, I still would like the customer to wait, be seated and wait for 5 to 10 minutes. It's almost subconscious that this is the place to be. They've really got something on here that going on here that I want to be a part of. And it's really no different than I went to the Apple store a few weeks ago, and it was on a weekend, which was like the worst mistake ever, right? Mm-hmm. And there was, they took my name and number, and they said I want to go to the, to the help desk or the smart bar or whatever the heck they're calling it now. And there's like a 40-minute wait. And I'm like, really? Well, guess who waited? I waited.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing when I share the story with people that especially on weekends, we create a wait. Their first car people generally say, why don't you hire more salespeople? Well, I can hire more salespeople, sure, but it takes away from the culture that we've created. And the other part of that equation is how many car dealerships do you know that creates such a value proposition where the customer will wait for 45 minutes?
Because where else can they go? You know what I mean? They usually can go right up the block and wait less and get the same type of service, maybe.
They can get the same car.
Yeah.
And they can probably get the same car cheaper. Mm-hmm. And we communicate that to the guests, but they still wait. They'll drive 30 to 45 minutes to wait 30 to 45 minutes just to talk to a salesperson with no guarantee that they'll buy anything. Yeah. But that's how they're included in the process. Now, while they're waiting, we use a lot of Disney techniques. I'm a huge fan of Disney. All the activities to do while they wait, and we do have guests that come back to get their car serviced, and they come down to the showroom because our service waiting area is a lot smaller. But they like to watch the movies. We always got the movies playing, the popcorn, the gourmet coffee bar, the Xbox, the old school arcade. We got the works, and they like to come hang out.
Did you put that what was that lighting thing we talked about at the last mastermind? What is that? Did you get that installed in there yet?
Got that installed in the waiting area. The colors, man,
that's awesome.
Color, yeah.
So, all right, listen, I'm gonna roll into getting you off of here, man, because I know that you're swamped. Are you in the dealership right now?
I'm in the dealership.
Yeah. All right, so I got 2 quick things to exit you with. So let me ask you this. So and genuinely, because I know you're going to give me a straight up. So if I just started on the showroom there and I've been, all right, X amount of days. I don't know how long it takes. It's probably, I know you put them through a ringer, so to speak, meaning not in a good way before you just turn them loose. But how accessible is Tracy Myers to from the newest guy to the veteran to your right, to the ambassador of smiles, your right hand man? Like, how accessible are you to these people?
Sure. So the very first day, we never start a newbie class, a green pea class, without me having their cell phone number, and vice versa that day. And that's one of the first things we do. Hey, welcome. I'm Tracy Myers. Here's the we call it 5 reasons why we live more enjoyable, simple, and prosperous lives, and you can too. It's a pamphlet, brochure, whatever you call it, for them to have. But it's an introduction. Let me get your cell phone number, and I'm going to give you my cell phone number. And that's right off the bat. The second thing they're going to do, most of them are on Facebook, some of them are on Twitter, and because you hit me up. If you don't text me, I'm on Facebook, right? It's on my hip. Of course, you can get me on Twitter as well, but most of the salespeople, for whatever reason, they're on Facebook. I'm like, here's my personal, not my business. Here's my personal Facebook. And it's almost 24/7. I think you've hit me up. We've talked wrestling at midnight, right?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
On Facebook, it's not even a text. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. So how accessible? The easy answer is if it's top down.
So they never feel so. I mean, and they feel that too. They know that, hey, like if you talk to somebody that just started there, they'd know, like, hey, if I had an idea or if I had something that I wanted to get, to get to Tracy, they know they'd have no problem getting it to you, right?
Yeah. So if I'm not getting feedback and ideas from these guys, number one, I'm creating the wrong type of culture. I'm creating the culture of fear. And too many leaders. Well, and I use that term loosely. Let's call them bosses. I don't want to be a boss. I truly want to be a leader. But too many bosses create that whole fear thing, where I sign your paycheck and don't talk to me. I don't care about your ideas, and you're smaller than I am. Look, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm a marketer at heart. I'm a people person at heart. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. But I rarely stay on the same thing for a long period of time. So I couldn't do anything that I do without these people. They're all the front line. And a lot of people say, well, your salespeople are the front line. Well, I get where they're coming from. But look, when the car comes off the truck, without the truck driver, the car doesn't get here. Without the detail shop, the car doesn't get cleaned up. Without my techs, the oil doesn't get changed, doesn't get inspected. Without the porter, it doesn't get moved to the front line. Without my salespeople, I don't have anybody to greet customers. Without my finance director, I don't have anybody to get deals bought. Without my sales manager, I don't have anybody to close the deal. Without my BDRs, my BDM, I don't have anybody to answer the phones. I couldn't do any of this without them and do 100 and sell 150 cars a month, or as we say, provide 150 solutions a month.
Gotcha. Yep. I mean, you're right, man. 100%. So we're up. All right. We're gonna hit this one and then we're out of here. So. What's one thing other than showing that you care, and I know that's important, and we touched on that, just showing that you care, that you're interested, things about, you know their kids' names, how many they have, and I saw that with at the mastermind when Kevin comes there. I mean, you guys have a present for his daughter every time. You know what I mean? She's going to be there. You have something for her, which that says a lot. But so let's take, most sales managers, gyms, whatever, they want to get everybody together maybe once a week, maybe twice, Saturday before a big meeting Saturday mornings before the big Saturday day, or near the end of the month. I mean, that stuff's just corny where you go with that to pump your team up. What is something that anybody listening that's in a position of power can take and implement immediately and hopefully see some kind of results that will, get something out of their team, get them fired up, make them motivated, even if it's just for a little while, but it will last as long as they stick to doing this action on a consistent basis.
Sure. So one of the first things I really learned in the automotive industry, and sadly it was 5, 6, 7 years into my career, was the saying, without the why, they will not buy. And that was, when I learned it, it was geared from the salesperson to the customer, right? Mm-hmm. And I think too many sales trainers in automotive, they're only teaching product knowledge now, and true building value into the product. But I think you take that statement to your team and your team members. Without the why, they will not buy. Meaning, without why we do what we do, or why Tracy Myers is a car dealer, why I do what I do, they won't buy into the culture. Look at it that way. right? So I encourage every dealer, GM, general sales manager, internet sales director, whoever, like you said, as long as they're leading or supervising any team member, man, stop eating your lunch in your office, stop going to the Burger King drive-through, stop bringing leftovers from home, and grab a team member, take them out to lunch, and share with them why you do what you do. And if it's all about the paycheck, then, you probably don't have a culture in your store. I'm here and I share with them. And I always start out with, of course, my family story and why we've done this for 85 years. My great grandfather started the first Frank Myers store 85 years ago. My ancestors came to America. Two Myers brothers came to America on a boat with two hammers and started a successful construction business. Does that mean we're smarter than everybody else? Absolutely not. What does it mean? It means that we hustle and we believe in what we do. We're passionate about what we do, and we're here to really help people. And of course, that's the short version of the story. But you would be amazed, and all supervisors would be amazed at one, how much better that they'll produce and how much better they'll perform for you as a supervisor once you take them out of the dealership environment and just show enough that you care, and you took them out to eat, for one. And when you give them your story and not the smoke and mirrors and the glossed over version,
Gotcha.
The public relations version, be real. I had a sales manager, for example, that had a serious well, he shared a story on YouTube, so I can share it here. He had a serious drinking problem for years. And he had a sponsor, helped him through all that. This guy battled literally hell and high water to get to where he was at. Now, he's one of the most successful sales managers, I think, of any independent store in the country, if not new car stores in the country. And he does what he does and leads the way he leads because he wants to give back to people because somebody gave to him. That's his why. That's why he does what he does. It's not about the money. He's got to have the paycheck, and he's going to get his paycheck, and he's going to make a killing because he's awesome at what he does. But that doesn't make his people work for him harder. That doesn't make his people more passionate about being here. That doesn't get anybody to buy into the culture. They buy into him as a person and him as a supervisor and him as a leader because they know who he is. So now they know his why. So they have bought, or they will buy into him as a leader and a supervisor, and they will jump through rings of fire for him because of that. So, and I know all these sound like warm and fuzzy, Phil Donahue type, Oprah type things, that, and most manly men, and, my dad was one. He was a military guy, right? A lot of them will look at this, and I know car guys and car girls, and oh man, that is a load of crap. That stuff doesn't work. But buying into our people, investing into our people, that is by far our most important commodity that we have. And it's far more greater than any amount of dollars that I could spend on advertising. And I'll say that, and I have an ad agency. We place ads for dealers all over the country. And make a good living doing it. However, I've told dealerships and tell them every day, you could spend $1 million on advertising. You could increase your foot traffic or your lot traffic by 150%. But if your people are broke, if your processes are broke, if your leaders are broke, if there's no culture, your return on investment is going to be minimal to nothing. Or it may be short-lived and you get that little high, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be sustainable because the excitement's not sustainable. The culture's not sustainable because there's not one. It's they're flash in the pan stuff. There's going to be turnover every 3 to 6 months, 100% turnover every 3 to 6 months. And I know stores like that. They're not investing in
stores are like that.
Most stores are like that. And it is sad. They're hiring wrong or they're hiring right, which is even worse.
Treating them wrong.
They're treating them wrong. They hire the right person and they treat them wrong or don't treat them anyway at all. I think it tends to be even worse when you bring somebody in, right or wrong, and you're vanilla either way. You don't treat them right or wrong, and you just don't treat them at all. You're not existing.
They're not there. Exactly.
Not there.
What's the average? The length of time that Frank Myers Auto Maxx sales professional has been there right now? What do you have? I mean, of course, you're always bringing on new blood. Your guys are moving on to bigger and better things, as we discussed. But like, you're not turned. I mean, they're there for the long haul, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the only time people like my longest tenured salesperson is kind of like Megan, who was the BDR, works in our business development center that you were talking about earlier that got the going away president. She moved on to another company outside of the industry, making like 2.5 times the money. And we were excited for her, man.
More than happy.
Man, I did what I'm supposed to do as a leader. Now, if she did her job as a leader, because she was the business development center manager, she created a culture in her department where people have now, and they have done this, stepped up and took her place and were as good or will be as good as she was. That's the way it's supposed to work. But, the salesperson. So our longest tenured salesperson, I bought the store in 2006 from my dad. And this is in the documentary, Carmen, by the way, but I fired everybody here except my controller. It was an old culture. I mean, I knew right away that, the culture, there was no culture. The culture was broke. I mean, we were selling a lot of cars and making a lot of money, but it just wasn't a fun place to be.
Yeah. It wasn't your vision, the vision you had.
It wasn't my, that's a better way to put it. It wasn't my vision. I wanted to create my vision. I wanted it to be my store. I wanted to have my footprint. So, Eddie came on board about 6 months later, one of the first guys that I hired, I trained, and he just left and he's got his own store. He's been gone. He's been gone 3 weeks.
And you probably couldn't be happier for him. Plus, you probably helped the guy. I mean, you probably helped him along the way with opening this store. If I know you, I would think you had something to do with it.
Well, absolutely. He's renting the property from me, but that's
oh, surprise.
Yeah, but that's not if that was a last minute deal.
Absolutely.
His goal, he told me 5 years ago, I want to open 4 years ago. My goal was to open my own store. And it's important for us as leaders to know what their long-term vision is, and we have Vision Day here at the store, which is another great way to get your team members bought into the culture. And the Vision Day is like, look, if money were no issue, what would you do? What would you buy? What would you invest in? Right. And you get everything from crazy yachts to me and my wife would go on the honeymoon that we never had, to I put money away for my kids' college. Just it depends on the person, right? And there is no wrong answer. But what we do, and this is at the end of the year going into the new year, we actually print those, go to a large format print shop, print those things, cut them out, and we hang them from the ceiling in the training room.
Oh, wow.
And we'll put, so if John wants a Bentley, and he's the superficial guy in the room, right? He wants to be a baller. We'll take the Bentley, we'll put his name on the front license plate, and we'll cut it out and hang it from, fishing line in the training room. So he looks at that every morning for 30 days.
Wow.
Tracy. And that,
unbelievable, man. I mean, that's just like, nobody thinks of that. Nobody thinks to do that kind of stuff in general, let alone doing that with your team and for your team. I mean, hats off to you, man. Seriously. I mean, you got a family, you got so much going on, and, coming from a guy that, only knows, the front line of the sales business of, actually in the retail end of the industry. And I've never seen anybody put in, an eighth of that effort, and I mean, so you got some happy people, man. No wonder you're killing it. Listen, I've kept you longer than I promised. Where can everybody go to hear you talk more about this kind of things or anything, man? Where you want people to find you at?
Yeah, look, TracyMyers.com is TracyMyers. There's all kinds of, that's the PR stuff, and the blogs on there too. However, my heart and my soul and my daily diary, man, this is on Facebook. So not necessarily my fan page, which has got some cool motivational stuff. But I'm kind of all over the place, but Facebook's a cool place. And like you mentioned earlier, we've got the Unfair Advantage Automotive Mastermind Group. All you got to do is get there. You got to apply for membership. We're real selective on who we bring in, and we invite anybody in automotive from porters all the way to presidents. As Craig Lockard says, from Auto Maxx Recruiting, we don't care as long as we think they'll be a good fit. And you can go to that website as well.
And it's a blast, man. It's been an honor to be on board watching this thing grow. From two out. It's been awesome.
June meeting is going to be great. We got some great preferred vendor partners that are ponying up because they believe in the same vision we got and the same vision I got here at the store. Just look, let's just share information. Let's just share information. If we catch you pitching, we're throwing you out. Everybody got to sell stuff, but that's not what this is about. This is about just making ourselves better because we just don't do enough of that in the automotive industry. But man, it's been my honor to be here. You're a great friend, man. Honored to call you one. And if I can ever help you out, man, you let me know.
You just did help me out, man. That's what this was.
Next time we're doing wrestling podcast.
That's it, man. We got to get that going on. All right, Tracy, listen, man, thank you so much, everybody. You know what he told you. Just hit him up on Facebook, both of his accounts, man. He's really active on there. And, I mean, you message him, man, he will answer you. I promise you. That's what makes him so great. Tracy, go ahead, man, about your business, brother. Thank you so much for taking the time, man. I think you dropped some great bombs here, and I just, I just hope to get you back on again, man, because we could have went for hours, man.
Hey, you got it, man. You let me know. We'll make it happen.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Bye.
Bye.